welcome to episode 4 of Tori Talks. Our guest today is Emily Gorman. Before we discuss what our topic actually is today, we'll just have Emily, you can just tell us about yourself and a little bit about your faith journey and that kind of thing, just so everyone kind of gets to know who you are.
Okay, well, like Tori said, I'm Emily and I go to Lake Superior State University in Sault Ste. Marie. I just finished my sophomore year and I am studying elementary education with concentrations in language arts and mathematics. I grew up in the faith. I grew up in the church, and I was involved in various different activities in the church. I did the junior choir and participated in Sunday school and youth group when it came to that, and I sang in the choir at my church too, and it's just something that I've always been around. And up at school, there's a Christian group on campus called His House, and I'm a part of that. I'm on the worship team for that, and I'm going to be leading one of the small groups next year, and so I've been around it pretty much my whole life.
Awesome. So our topic today is going to be kind of on college, because a lot of young people, that's a stressful thing, choosing your college, deciding your major, and once you're in college, college can be stressful too. I personally have not gone to college myself, so I don't know fully. That's why I figured might as well talk to someone who has gone to college. And Emily actually has changed her major 3 times now, right?
Yeah, I'm on my third
Yeah.
one.
So I figured too, again, with someone good to talk about it, she's had to kind of figure out exactly what she wants to do. So Emily, why don't you just kind of walk us through your college journey thus far?
Okay. When I started college, I was a nursing major, and I had 18 credits my first semester, which is a lot. The normal range is between 12 and 17, and I was one over. Very stressful. And so I just kind of struggled with all of the prereqs for it, because as a pre-nursing student, you were in some really hard classes right off the bat, because I had anatomy and physiology and intro to psychology, intro to sociology, and that's a lot as a freshman to come in and have those 3 big topics all at once. And I really struggled in all of the classes I was taking, and I just kind of thought, well, if I'm struggling now, I don't really want to struggle all 4 years of college. So then I switched over to special education, because deep down, I mean, I've always kind of had a heart for kids and wanting to be a teacher, and people with mental disabilities or just special needs have always had such a big part of my life and a big spot in my heart. And so I started with that in the following spring semester, and things went pretty well from there, and I knew I had made the right choice switching. And then in the fall, I had started taking some education classes and was really getting into it and highly enjoyed it. And then about halfway through the semester, I got an email from my advisor saying that because I was supposed to be taking special ed classes the following semester with one other person, there would just be 2 of us in the class, but they had done it before, no problem, that they were going to cancel those classes because there were 10 freshmen coming in as special ed majors, and they wanted the cohort just to be a little bit bigger, and then they weren't running the classes for just 2 people. And I would have had to wait until fall of 2018 to start taking those classes, and I was not going to wait that long, because that would have added an extra semester or a year onto my schooling, and I was already going 5 years. So then I switched to just regular elementary with my concentrations in language arts and math, because those make me more marketable as a teacher, because with those concentrations I can teach grades K through 8 instead of just K through 5, so it means I have a better chance of getting a job when I graduate. And my advisor and I have it now that I will be done in 4.5 years instead of 5, so I'm very happy about that.
Nice. So what were some of your biggest challenges and stresses kind of along that journey?
Right away, my freshman year, first semester, I didn't realize it at first, but I did get involved in kind of the wrong group of people. I didn't realize it right away, but I was friends with those who like to get drunk every weekend. Some of them did do drugs. I don't know exactly what ones, but they were involved in those. And there were times where all they wanted to talk about was how adventurous their sex lives were. And I did kind of walk away from my faith a little bit because I put my social life in just trying to fit in and like kind of like let those people accept me. I guess I didn't really do anything about my faith and didn't really think about God at all. And thankfully he was watching over me though when that was going on, because nothing ever did happen to me. I did not take a sip of alcohol, didn't do any drugs, and yeah, nothing happened with that. The only thing that did happen was I did go to a club regularly for a month and a half every weekend, both Friday and Saturday night, but thankfully nothing happened while I was there either. All the friends that I did have, they made sure to watch over me and that nothing would happen. And so that was just probably the biggest struggle, was just having walked away from my faith and then towards the end of the semester deciding that's not the person I wanted to be, and then trying to refine my faith again and renew it was probably the biggest struggle since going to college.
Yeah. So you already were touching on this a little bit, but what part did your faith play in that journey?
Well, when I came home for Thanksgiving break my first semester, and I had a good talk with my mom because of the friend group I was with and how much higher on my priority list they were. My grades did suffer, and that's part of why I struggled in the classes. But I just got talking to her about it, and I just realized that that wasn't the person who I wanted to be. I didn't want to be the person who was like the party animal and didn't do well in school. I wanted to do good in school and to get a good job, and so we just I just realized that I did need God back in my life. And so when I came back for the spring semester, I got involved in his house again and rejoined the worship team, and then for spring break that semester, a group of us from his house went down to Texas, and we did stuff with this organization called YWAM, which is Youth with a Mission, and they do a lot of missionary stuff. And it felt more like a retreat than an actual mission trip, because they poured into us a lot more than we poured out to other people, which for me is what I really needed. Yeah. And there was one night where the talk was about, it was called, what was it? It was like the ultimate intent of the heart or something like that. And it basically boiled down to, who do you think God is? Do you put any limitations on him? And what do you think he wants you to do? Like, what do you think some of his plans were? And in that moment, I just got thinking about just like who I thought God was, and I thought about my past and how I felt I didn't feel worthy to come back, but I just felt total peace about the whole situation. I knew God was truly showing me his forgiveness, and that he was telling me, I don't care where you've been, I just want you back, and that's all that matters to me.
Very cool. So how did having that belief and faith in God help you in your decisions to ultimately be in the major you are now and going through all of that?
Well, it definitely helped me change my priorities a little bit. And I'm still working on like getting my relationship with God back to where it was, and getting it even deeper than what it was before my fall, if you want to call it that. But just learning more about him and knowing that he is in control. That was what I learned about him most over this past school year, is that he is in control of everything, and he does have your best interests in mind. That has just really helped a lot, knowing that that he is there for me and that he loves me, and just knowing what I know, I want to spread it to others and show his love and his mercy to others. And I believe I can do that through teaching, especially showing it to kids, because kids absorb everything, especially when they're little, because I want to teach lower elementary. Kindergarten would be my ultimate grade to teach, but with the highest I would want to go is second grade. And at that age, they're just soaking up everything. They don't care what it's about. They're just soaking up everything. And to show God's love to them at that young age could spark interest, and who knows where it could go from there.
For sure. So tell us where you're at, like, right now in your whole college journey and your faith right now and all that.
Right now, I'm feeling pretty good about everything. I got my best grades this past semester since
Awesome.
going to college. I got 2 A minuses and 3 Bs and ended with a 3.3 GPA compared to first semester when I got a 2.1. So it was a big improvement. And I just feel so much closer to God than I did at the start of the school year. In one of the small groups I was in, we went through the book of James and just kind of went through all of what James is telling us to do. And I applied some of those things to my everyday life and just noticed a difference on how deeper I could connect with him and just kind of feel his presence more often.
So how do you see your faith continuing to help you as you continue in college and finish up college and make more choices for where you work and all that?
I can definitely see it mainly helping with like a stress reliever, just because college is a very stressful time for people, and just knowing that I can find comfort in him helps a lot. And I'm not necessarily I'm not like afraid anymore, I guess, to just kind of like dive into my major and start to like make good friends in there, and if they're not Christians, to show them his love too. And just putting my all of my trust in him is where I know that that's how I'm going to grow the most in my faith, is just if I surrender everything to him, which I've been getting better at, and I think my faith's going to grow a lot more just simply by doing that.